In the United States, the percentage of children and adolescents affected by obesity has more than tripled since the 1970s. Child obesity is a growing problem in the United States that everyone should be informed about. Throughout my speech, I will explain how obesity is defined, the causes and prevention of obesity, and the effects that it has on a child's health. I will begin by clearly defining childhood obesity. Obesity is defined as a condition that is characterized by excessive accumulation and storage of fat in the body. Body mass index, or BMI, is a widely used screening tool for measuring obesity. BMI is a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of a person's height in meters. Children whose BMI measures at or above the 95th percentile are considered obese. Data from 2015 to 2016 shows that nearly 1 in 5 people from ages 6 to 19 in the United States are considered obese. Even though BMI is a helpful indicator of future health problems, it has limitations when using BMI for adults. Factors such as age, sex, ethnicity, and muscle mass can influence the relationship between excess fat, muscle, or bone mass. For example, muscular adults, such as trained athletes, could have a high BMI due to an increased amount of muscle mass. It doesn't consider that the individual could have healthy muscle mass rather than excess fat. Next, I will discuss the several causes of obesity and how to prevent it in children. There are many factors that can contribute to childhood obesity, including metabolism, community, amount of sleep, diet, amount of physical activity, and genetics. Some causes, such as genetics, can't be changed. But as for the other causes, a simple change in daily routine could make a massive change in a child's risk of becoming obese. Contrary to what people may believe, overweight children should not be put on a diet unless a doctor recommends it for medical purposes. Instead, children should be encouraged to maintain their current weight as they grow in height. Another way to prevent obesity is through healthy eating habits, regular physical activity, and reducing what's called sedentary activities, such as watching television or playing video games. Parents can also help to prevent childhood obesity by providing healthy meals and daily physical activities for their children. Childhood obesity is often worse in lower income communities since it is difficult for families with lower incomes to afford the cost of healthier food alternatives. Finally, I will explain the effects that obesity can have on a child's health. Childhood obesity has many immediate and long-term effects on physical, social, and mental health. Children with obesity are at a higher risk of having other health conditions such as asthma, sleep apnea, bone and joint problems, type 2 diabetes, and risk factors for heart disease. Children with obesity are also bullied and teased more than their peers who are not overweight and are more likely to suffer from social isolation, depression, and lower self-esteem. Obesity can also affect a child in the future because if they are still overweight as an adult, then they will have a higher risk of developing heart disease, metabolic syndrome, and several types of cancer. In addition, if childhood obesity continues on into adulthood, many of these health outcomes, such as cardiovascular disease, can be passed on to the next generation. However, if overweight and obese children maintain a normal weight by their 20s, they will have a much lower risk for heart disease than those who remain overweight. I will conclude by reviewing what should be taken away from this speech. Throughout this speech, I've explained how child obesity is defined, the causes of childhood obesity and prevention techniques that can be taken, and the effects that it has on a child's health. I hope that my speech has made it clear how child obesity is a growing problem in the United States. Even though the amount of children affected by obesity has tripled since the 1970s, I believe that if everyone is aware of this issue, then we can work to cut down that percentage in the years to come.